Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, my name is Alyssa, and for today's video, we are back with another collections video. I am super excited because it's been a minute since I filmed one of these. Today, I'm going to be showcasing like my base products, and by that, I mean my powders, my bronzers, my blushes, and my highlighters. I'm super excited, and hopefully we're going to do a little bit of decluttering today as well. So yeah, if you guys would like to see this part of my makeup collection, then let's just go ahead and get started. Okay guys, so we're gonna start off with like my powders, like my translucent powders and things like that first. I'm gonna try and go in the order in which I use them, and I'm gonna try and fly through this a little bit. I think I say that every time, and I'm not sure if I'm accomplishing it, so we're just gonna move on from that. So the first things first, I think my oldest setting powder for real, you guys, is this RCMA no color powder. And I know what you're thinking, Alyssa, why are you showing us a NYX powder? But that is because when I was using this, once you get kind of deep into the bottle, I needed to dump it into another container, so I emptied this out and used this. Now I'm going to be decluttering this product, and that is just because it is so old, you guys. This powder right here is probably 4 to 5 years old, if not a little bit more than that. And it's because I used to use this way back in the day. Kathleen Lights put me onto this. I love Kathleen Lights. And when I was starting out doing makeup, you know, you didn't really know what to use, and everybody talked about this back in the day, but she's just old. It is a good setting powder. It's really, really affordable if you're just starting out in makeup. Do I necessarily think it's the best setting powder out there now? No, not necessarily, but it is a really good powder to start. Next, I do have this Milani translucent powder. This is 01 light to medium, so it does have a little bit of a tint to it. This is an okay setting powder. It's definitely not my favorite. I got this when I did a full face of Milani, and it's all right, but I definitely don't think it's the best in my collection. I will try and use it a little bit more before I part with it, but I don't think I would ever repurchase this again. So another drugstore setting powder is this e.l.f. one right here, and honestly, you guys, it has no indication like what it's actually called, so I'm just going to call it the translucent setting powder. And again, this is another one that's okay. This is a very finely milled powder. I don't know if you guys can tell in the container, but it's extremely finely milled. I just don't love, it's funny because I liked the RCMA no color powder back in the day because it was so light, but I just think there's something about the fact that this is literally a white setting powder that doesn't really sit as well with me. Part of me really just wants to be like peas and chicken grease, because I think I've used it maybe once or twice. What I think I'm going to do with this is maybe try it once or twice more and see how I feel, and I may just part ways with it. So I also have this pretty vulgar, it's called the Powder Room Matte About It Translucent Setting Powder. They always have the longest names. This is not a bad setting powder. I do really, really like the packaging. I love the packaging on almost all the pretty vulgar items that I do own, and this is not bad. So this setting powder right here is the Mercier translucent setting powder, and this is my oldie but a goodie. I could not tell you how many of these powders that I have literally gone through in my time of doing makeup. I use this in my kit and everything, and they've come out with like newer colors that I think I want to try once I run out of this particular container, because I think the most recent one may be a little bit better for my skin tone, but I think this is a really solid translucent powder. Okay, so next we have the Jeffree Star setting powder, and I'm not sure if it has a different fancy name that I just cannot remember. At first I was excited about the like cotton candy smell, but I actually do not like the cotton candy smell, because I feel like whenever I like scent around my nose and stuff, it's almost like I'm snorting it, and it's very uncomfortable. I do not like it. I think it's too strong. So I wish it didn't have the smell, but this powder will literally make you look poreless. Like, no joke. Okay, so next I have the Sephora Micro Smooth Powder. Mine is in the shade medium. That's what it looks like without a glare. I really, really like this setting powder. This is one that I would use to set over my entire face. I take like a big old fluffy brush and just like dust it over my whole face. This powder is so, so nice. It's very finely milled, has like no kick up on it. Just a nice tint where it doesn't alter my foundation shade or anything like that. It just helps really smooth and blur out my skin. Okay, so next we're gonna move into bronzers, and I love bronzers. I don't think there's a day that could go by in which I do not have a bronzer on. I love them so much. I will literally use multiple bronzers in one makeup look. That's how much I love them. So starting off with literally probably the bronzer I have used for the longest period of time, and that is the Benefit, let me flip her over, Hoola bronzer. Now this is a mini. I personally think the mini size of the Hoola bronzers is the way to go. I have really been using this bad boy up. I'm so excited. I hardly hit pan on anything, and so I cannot wait to hit pan fully on this, because I obviously have done it, but to finish it. And I already have a backup of this. You guys, this is the best contouring powder for me. Okay, so I also have this Makeup Revolution Pressed Contour Powder, and I won this in a giveaway last year. Now, this is not a bad product, but it doesn't work the best as like a contour on me. It's a little too warm, whereas the Hoola bronzer is a little bit more neutral in undertone, and so like this doesn't work as well for me. I can use it as a lighter bronzer. So I also have the Bare Minerals Endless Summer Bronzer in the shade Warmth. This is a nice bronzer. It doesn't look like much in the pan, honest to God. Like when I first got it, I was like, that's not gonna work for me. Like it's never gonna blend out, but it's honestly a really, really pretty bronzer, and it actually works for my skin quite well. This is definitely something that I reach for when I am looking for a lighter bronze. Like it's not really going to bronze me up an insane amounts, like if I'm going for that type of look, but the powder is actually quite nice, and since it's a mini, I'm definitely gonna hold on to it and try and use it up because I think I could possibly finish it, but overall, it's not a bad powder. Okay, so I also have in the world's most disgusting packaging, the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer in the shade Luminous Bronze Light. This is another powder that is quite old in my collection, if I'm being honest with you guys. And it's because I don't wear it that often, just because these do have quite a bit of shimmer in them, and I do have oily skin. However, if I want that really nice glow, I use this as a topper. So I don't put this on its own and just go about my day using this as my bronzer, but over top as like a light veil of nice sheen. It's very, very nice. Okay, so this Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion, oh my gosh, you guys, again, this is an older one in my collection for sure, but I loved this bronzer with all of my heart, with like my entire being. I loved this bronzer because it is one of those ones, much like the Fenty ones now, that like doesn't get powdery and flake up in the pan. It has the most beautiful undertone to it, in my opinion. It's very warm, a little reddish. Like I like it so much. This is the Fenty Beauty Sunstalker Bronzer. I have mine in the shade Island Ting. Love this bronzer, you guys. Love it, love it, love it so much. Just like the one I mentioned before, I use this with a stippling brush, and this just gives me the most insanely beautiful bronzed look. I feel like because you use it with a stippling brush, like it really gives you the opportunity to really build this up, and just it looks so stunning on the skin. And I don't know how, I don't know by what magic, but this looks fabulous on me whether I'm at my lightest or my darkest. It's absolutely phenomenal, and I could definitely see myself like repurchasing this. So of course I'm not getting rid of it because I love it. I love it so much. And then we are going to move into this one next. So this is the Pretty Vulgar Bronzed Mannequin Bronzer. Again, I told you they have like the most ridiculous names. This is another really, really nice bronzer that I don't know how it looks good on me whenever I use it. It doesn't matter with what tool, how light or dark I am, what else I got going on. It just looks really, really nice. Okay, so this right here is the Nars Laguna bronzer, but in the matte version. Oh my gosh, it's not gonna stay like that. So this right here, first of all, the embossing in there is phenomenal. I know it's upside down, but just, you know, work with me here. I absolutely love this bronzer so much, you guys, because literally it just has the most perfect undertone for me. I always wanted this bronzer back in the day, but it had a lot of shimmer in it, so it just didn't work for my skin. I felt like it just looked like it had too much glitter in it. So when they came out with this matte one, I was literally head over heels. It looks beautiful. It looks absolutely stunning. So this right here is probably one of my favorite bronzers in my collection. This is the Anastasia Powder Bronzer. I have mine in the shade Rosewood. Let me do this again because it's not gonna do it. This bronzer, you guys, it's funny because I actually hear terrible reviews on this bronzer. I have seen quite a few people that do not like this bronzer formula, and I don't know if maybe I just got lucky, but this bronzer in this particular shade, it was made for me, you guys. It has the most perfect like texture to it and the most gorgeous kind of like deep undertone. As you can see, like it's definitely got a little bit more red to it, which I don't love all the time, but when I want to be bronzed, girl, it is so freaking good. I don't know what it is, but I absolutely adore it. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about the two cream bronzers that I have. First things first, we're going to follow on that Fenty, because I do have the Fenty Beauty Cheeks Out cream bronzer. Mine is in the shade Macchiato. This is really, really nice. I was very pleasantly surprised. As someone who has oily skin, I don't use a ton of cream products for my base, just because it can make it where my makeup doesn't last as long. These are really, really nice. I definitely think I need the shade 1 Up for this. I don't remember what it is, but I'll write it on the screen. This is a little light for me. I think it looks good on my skin at the point I am now, but even then I still think it could be a little bit darker, but it's definitely not bad. I really like the formula. I am definitely considering getting the darker shade and still using this because this still works for me, but it's a really, really beautiful color, and it's a beautiful formula that works really well both under and on top of my powder makeup, which is huge, okay? Like, as someone who has oily skin and has to powder, if the product does not work over top of my powders, it really discourages me sometimes, because I'm like, girl, I can't always wear everything underneath my makeup, especially when I'm going hella full coverage. Like, you will not see it, okay? Like, mom's not playing no games. Okay, and so for my other cream bronzer, it is like the most expensive cream bronzer that you can literally get, but oh my god, you guys, in my personal opinion, it is worth every penny. It is the Chanel Soul Tan Day Chanel cream. You guys know what it is. Like, it's got the most ridiculous name, but oh my gosh, you guys, hold up, let me take my little thing off. This bronzer is amazing. I have no idea how on this beautiful green earth this works on my skin, because it looks so light, but you guys, it is phenomenal. Okay, so last for bronzer, I do have like 2 palettes, I guess. So the first one is the infamous Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. You guys know what's good. This is what it looks like. I feel like I have been using this for a lifetime, and it looks like I have not even dipped into it. This again is probably very old in my collection, but I am doing my hardest to get through this. Alexis Ren and ColourPop. This is the Topaz highlighter and bronzer duo. Okay, let me tell you guys right now, this right here is the most fantastic bronzer. The most fantastic bronzer that I like. Literally, I'm so depressed that there's no way for me to get this, because this was a limited edition type of a thing, and oh my god, it's just phenomenal. Like, it's got the most beautiful undertone. It is so gorgeous. It blends out like a dream. I literally have nothing to say about this. I will literally use this up until it is gone. I don't care if it is literally 5 years from now and it is the most expired and crusty dusty thing. As long as it does not break me out, I will have to use it, because I love it that much. The highlighter in here, I don't like it. I've literally never used it. You can see it's all jacked up, because when I got it originally, it came broken, and I just like doctored it up, but like, I don't care about that at all. But this, fantastic. So next, girl, we are going to move into blush. I love blush. I can already probably go ahead and tell you that I will not be decluttering any of my blushes, and that is because while I love blush, I would consider myself a blush hoe. I am very particular when it comes to my blush. When I show you my collection, you will see what I mean, but there is a very specific hue of blush that I like, and I have a couple of things that stray from that, and I will explain that when I get there, but I'm very particular. And so for the most part, I don't buy a lot of new blush, because the ones I'm going to show you are like the best thing for me and in my opinion. So I can already tell you that I will not be getting rid of any of these, so we're not even going to discuss it. But I'm about to turn y'all on to some stuff if you have not been turned on yet. So first things first, we're going to start with the cream products, because I do have a couple of those. Again, your oily girl likes cream products, but on occasion, I typically like to wear them underneath my foundation, which is how I am wearing it today. So I will start with the one that is actually on my face today. And that is this one right here, and I cannot pronounce the brand at all. It's called like Tank. Girl, I don't know, it's embarrassing. I don't want to talk about it. So we're just gonna move around. But it's this blush serum, and it is in the shade Mauve Dusk. This is what it looks like. I thought I was gonna hate it, but it's absolutely beautiful. It is like such a light wash of color, and because it's more of a serum, it blends out so seamlessly and does not cause my skin to have any excess oil or to break down the makeup. So I really do like it. All right, I do have 2 of the Rare Beauty liquid blushes. Are we not gonna focus? There we go. So this is in the shade Love, and this is in the shade Joy. I got these when I did like the Rare Beauty thing where I like tried them all out. And it was funny because I definitely thought I was gonna prefer the matte blush, which was this one right here. But I actually really, really liked the like, I don't know what they call it, like dewy or whatever you want to call its finish. I can't even remember. But I really enjoyed these. I definitely think that these are great. I will never buy a big one though. I will say that, because I definitely think these are going to last you for freaking ever. And there wasn't many other colors that really like drew to me in the need for a liquid blush, if you know what I'm saying. So I really like these. I recommend the little ones. Do I think that I would repurchase them? Probably not. Just because I'm going to show you another cream blush that I really, really like, and that literally you need the teensiest bit of. But I thought they were good for what they were, because I didn't think I was gonna like them. But I definitely think if you have not tried them out and you're okay with these colors, try out the minis, you guys, because that's the way to do it, girl. So affordable, and they won't go bad. Well, they will, but you can hopefully use up more of it before it goes bad, you know what I'm saying? Anywho, moving on to the other cream blushes that I have, you guys. They're my Fenty cream blushes. I love these Cheeks Out cream blushes so much. I have 2, like you can see. Hold on, I'm gonna flip them over because, you know, your girl's about to play herself so hard. So these are the 2 colors that I have right here, Strawberry Drip and Summertime Wine. Oh my God, you guys. Talk about pigmented blush. Talk about a blush hose dream. These blushes are fantastic. Summertime Wine is actually my favorite of the 2, which I was really surprised because I really thought Strawberry Drip was going to get you girl something. Strawberry Drip is gorgeous, and I love this, pairing it with an eyeshadow. Like, I will take this and blush up my whole cheek. Excuse that lighting, but I'll blush up my whole cheek and pull it into my eye, and oh, it's so gorgeous. I love these blushes. Not decluttering them. Probably will purchase more of them. Pretty Vulgar Make Them Blush blush. Mine is in the shade Prim Vixen, and you guys, I know it looks crazy. I got this, I think, in a BoxyCharm as well, and I really was like, girl, BoxyCharm trying to have me looking like a clown, for real, for real. This is a beautiful blush. It's absolutely stunning. I don't know what about it, but it literally turns into the like prettiest shade. It blends out, I don't know what I'm doing. It blends out so nice, and I don't know, I really, really like it. It's definitely for a particular look. I don't wear it on the everyday, but I think it's absolutely stunning, especially considering how the shade looks in the pan. The Anastasia Blush Trio, this is in the shade Peachy Love. Super nice. And the thing with this one though that kills me is I literally barely use one at a time. I either mix 2 or I use all 3, but it's a really nice formula. So this is the e.l.f. blush in the shade Always Rosy. This is an absolutely phenomenal blush. One of the best blushes that you can get at the drugstore, in my opinion. Beautiful pan size, absolutely beautiful formula, and a little goes a long way. So don't get too crazy with this, girl, because you will use too much. Next, I've got the LA Girl Just Blushing Blush in the shade Just Peachy. Another absolutely phenomenal blush from the drugstore. It's the beautiful shade. It blends out like a dream. This gives you plenty of time to build it up so you don't have to be too scared to use it, but I absolutely love that blush. So this is the ColourPop Super Shock Cheek in Count Me In. This and a stippling brush is a match made in cheek heaven. The formula is absolutely phenomenal, and it blends out like a dream. This right here is probably my favorite blush in my collection, and this is the Note Cosmetics blush in the shade Desert Rose. Oh my goodness, you guys. That's all I gotta say. It's just good. You just have to take my word for it. So I do have two Nars blushes here. Of course, I've got the original in the shade Orgasm, and then I've got this one, and this is in the shade, what I pronounce it as Ghoulie. Orgasm is a really nice blush. This is, again, something that I've had in my collection for quite a while because it was a staple back in the day. This will probably get parted with relatively soon-ish, just because it has more shimmer than I care for in my blushes anymore. Like, you know, when you first start out, you really don't know what you like. It is a beautiful shade, a beautiful blush, but it's just not my favorite in my collection. Between the two, this one right here is absolutely phenomenal. It has got like this purple hue to it that is just, I mean, unlike anything else in my collection. If you can see that right there, it's super gorgeous. So I have this Alamar Cosmetics Colorette Blush Trio in the shade Medium Tan. This is what it looks like. These are okay. I think that she's redone her formula. I could be wrong. So this right here is the Morphe 9-in Blush Palette. I love this blush palette so much, you guys. I think they still make it. I don't know if it looks different than this now. I can't remember. This might be older packaging, I'm not sure, but I love it. I think this is such a great blush palette, especially if you have like a makeup kit because of all the tones. I also have this right here, and this is the Tarte Blush Bazaar. This was like one of the Christmas things that they had a couple years ago. I think this was literally the last good blush palette that Tarte put out. Tarte has amazing, amazing blushes, you guys. They're so, so good. I love this a lot. Okay, so this right here is going to transition us from blushes to highlights, because obviously I have a lot of highlighters in here, but I also have this blush. This is a nameless Ofra blush. I wish I knew what its name was. Oh my gosh, more than anything, because I got this in a BoxyCharm, and this is such a good blush. The only thing that irritates me is obviously because it's a single, it's like separate from all my other blushes, so like I have to make myself remember that it's there, but it's such a nice blush. Love the color. Very, very, very light sheen to it. No glitter, but it's a super gorgeous color. And then all these that are in here are from an Anastasia highlighting palette, and I cannot remember which one it is, so I'm going to write it up here for you guys. These are okay. Honestly, I think I will declutter these because I never reach for them. I never touch them at all. I used to really like them. They were very, very nice, and they're not a bad highlighter at all, but I don't know. I just feel like I never ever use them, and that feels terrible. Maybe if anything, like I'll get rid of the two I know I don't use, because like I literally don't think I've ever done anything but swatch this one, and I think this one's too light for me. Let me see. Yeah, she's pretty though. Oh, I'm about to talk myself out of it. Let me swatch this other one. You didn't ask to be here. Oh man, on the body though. I'm about to talk myself out of it, you guys. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. Okay, so I may not be getting rid of those. I may just have to force myself to start using them. I don't know, man, they're so pretty. I hate myself. I'm weak. So this is the Sleek Makeup Highlighting Palette in the shade Solstice. I'm not going to be getting rid of this, and that is just because these two shades right here are so beautiful, especially when I'm doing more, is like eccentric the word to use, like crazier looks. They're very, very bright and very beaming. To Smashbox and Casey Holmes highlighting palette. This is the Spotlight one in gold, and then the Spotlight one in pearl. These are both really nice. Obviously, I don't think you can get these anymore, so I'm just going to kind of use them up until they go bad, because I'm sure they're probably past their expiration date. I'm terrible, but I do like them. I don't reach for them as much, and so they'll probably be something that gets rid of pretty soon, but I just don't have the heart to throw them out right now because I love my girl Casey Holmes. Okay, that's why I bought them. That was the reason. This palette right here, the Anastasia and Nicole Guerrero Glow Kit. Genius. This right here is a genius highlighting palette. Now, and then last but not least, for the highlighter palettes, I've got the Becca and Jacqueline. This is the, what do they call this? The Champagne Collection Face Palette. Again, this bad boy is old, honey boo boo, but it's blushes and highlights. So it's the Champagne Pop and the Prosecco Pop in there, along with some blushes. Amaretto is my favorite blush in here for sure. And I love this. I'm keeping this, mostly because Champagne Pop is another highlighter that I have over there, and I use the single and I'm like, you know, I'm working on getting rid of it, and then I can continue to use this one. But I love this. Obviously you can't get this anymore, it's not a thing, but it's a really, really nice palette. First I have this Tarteist Pro Glow highlighter. This is in the shade Exposed. I am going to be decluttering this. This is really, really pretty, but it is so glittery. It does dry down, so you do have to work with it quick, but I just don't ever reach for this. It's not something I really like. Okay, so as mentioned, I do have the Becca Cosmetics and Jaclyn Hill Champagne Pop. One of my favorite highlighters of all time. It's absolutely beautiful. You can see that I have hit pan on it. I also have the infamous Laura Geller Gilded Honey. Again, another stunning highlight. It's much like the Pro Fusion bronzer and things like that, where like it doesn't have any sort of like crazy kick up. And so this just looks absolutely stunning on the skin. Okay, so I also have this Milani highlight in the shade Sun Glow. This is really pretty, but in my opinion, it's much more of a powderier, if that's an appropriate word, highlight than what I typically go for, and it's a smidge more golden than I like, so I am going to be parting with this one. However, this one right here, this Maybelline Master Chrome in the shade Molten Gold, is absolutely phenomenal. If I had to tell you pick between this one and the Milani one, this one beats it out by like 1000%. It's such a beautiful highlighter. I do also have the Bretman Rock Jungle Rock Loose Highlighting Power Duo thingy. As you can see, like it has two different things on the inside. One's like really like a loose crazy like pinky glitter, and the other one's like a highlight. This is okay. I picked it up because I think Bretman's kind of funny. The packaging is super cute and everything, but this like doesn't really do it for me. I think I'll hold on to it a little bit longer because this is like relatively newer in my collection, but I could see myself like getting rid of it well before it's time for me to do so. So this is the Wet n Wild highlighting powder in the shade Precious Petals. This was super popular back in the day. I don't mind this. I'm trying to decide if I want to keep it or not because it is getting older. It's not a bad highlight at all. It's just a little bit more pinkier than my tastes typically go now. I think I may hold on it for a little bit longer, but when I get rid of it, it will just be thrown in the trash because like I said, this particular one is getting a little bit old. But this is a really beautiful highlight, especially at the drugstore. Like I said, it was super popular back in the day and it's quite affordable, which is great. This is the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Skin Frost in Summer Snow Cone. No, you guys, his highlighters, they're not that good. I really wanted to try like the Extreme Skin Frost that he had come out with recently, especially like the really crazy purple one that launched with the Bloodlust collection back when, but I couldn't get my hands on it. But these in particular, the Skin Frost, I do not think this is a good formula at all. It is so dry and I feel like it dries out like in the pan. Like it's just not like, look at that, like where? Like you really have to, in my opinion, like grab more than you want to make it work, and I just don't think it's that good. So I am going to be parting with this. Okay, so I'm going to talk about these together because they kind of remind me of each other. This one is the Model's Own highlight in the shade Golden Sand, and this is the Steve Laurent Jelly highlighter in the shade Cotton Candy. They both have kind of like a more cool toned kind of undertone to them. This one is obviously a little bit more golden, but to me it pulls more champagne, and this has more of a pinky undertone. I'm going to be keeping this one because I do quite like this. This was quite inexpensive from the drugstore and very nice. This one on the other hand, I am going to be parting with because it's got too much of a pink undertone for my personal taste. So I do also have one of the Artist Couture Diamond Glow powders. This one is in the shade Summer Haze. It's a really beautiful loose hider. As you can see, it's got like a really gorgeous gold undertone. I really like these. Now, a little bit goes a long way because they literally are just so stinking pigmented, but it's absolutely stunning. And on par with that loose highlighter, I do have the Makeup Forever Starlit powder. This is the one in number 13. So popular back in the day. This one has like a little sifter. You guys, I want to compare the two because look at this. It always kind of puffs out, but like, you guys, this literally almost puts the Artist Couture, and by almost I mean it literally puts the Artist Couture one to shame. Look at how blinding that is. Now literally they are two different colors. Obviously this one is more gold, this is more white, but they're absolutely beautiful. I use this a lot for the inner corner, brow bone, especially when I'm doing kind of crazy looks where I want to kind of alter my highlight, but these are so beautiful. I will be keeping both of them. So I do have 3 of the ColourPop Super Shock Cheek highlighters. I know they all kind of look the same in the pan, but they are not. I have the shade Flexitarian, Lunch Money, and this one right here is Wisp. Flexitarian is probably my favorite. It's super, super blingy. It can get out of hand really, really fast, but I feel like if you go in with a light hand, it's absolutely stunning. I do use my finger with all of these. I never use them with a brush. I just don't like the way the brush looks. Lunch Money's a really pretty, like, champagne-y color, very light and natural. And then Wisp is probably my least favorite, and that's just because it has more of like a really gold undertone, but it's super pretty, and they're just really easy to use. I really do like them. I won't be parting with them just because, I don't know, I do reach for them quite a bit, and they're very, very affordable, so I do like that aspect. Okay, so this right here is the e.l.f. I think it's called like the Jelly Pop highlighter or something, and I'm pretty sure this one is in the shade Bubbly. This is really, really pretty. It is of course like a jelly, so I don't want it to like fall out, but like there's what it looks like. It's so gorgeous. I will pull a little bit out and swatch it for you guys so you guys can see. It's a really stunning highlighter, and it does dry down, which is really, really nice. It's got a really beautiful sheen to it. I do think you need to work decently quick when you use it because you definitely don't want it to sit too long where then you can't work with it. But I really like it. To be like a jelly type highlighter, which really isn't my favorite, it's super, super gorgeous and super affordable. So this right here is the Jouer highlighter in the shade Skinny Dip. It's really, really pretty. I definitely like that I have it in a mini because it's definitely not my favorite highlighter that I own. I also have a mini in this Ofra Rodeo Drive. This is a stunning highlighter, you guys. It's so gorgeous. A little goes a long way, and I do think you can get a little heavy-handed with this, but I absolutely love it, and I'm more happy again that I have this in a mini just because, like I said, a little goes a long way, so I definitely don't think I would ever need a big one. This right here is the Dior Skin Nude Air Luminizer in the shade 001. This is a stunning highlighter. I am keeping this one just simply because it is expensive. It's Dior. I really, really like it. I typically wear more golden highlights, as you can see, golden champagne. This definitely pulls a little bit more icy, but it's absolutely beautiful. This here is the Fenty Beauty Kilowatt highlighter in the shade Mean Money and Hustla Baby. I do like this, but I don't love this, if I'm being honest. I love Fenty products. If you guys are not new here, you know this. But in my opinion, her highlighters just like aren't the greatest. I definitely pretty much only use Hustla Baby, but it's not bad. I just will not be repurchasing. I will use it up because I have it, but I think there are better highlighters than hers. Now, if you are not new to my channel, you know that this is my favorite highlighter to ever grace my presence. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills and Amrezy highlighter. They need to bring this back and make it permanent. Honest to God, this will save the Anastasia brand because this is literally the world's best highlighter. I love it so much. Now, I do have 3 of the Dose of Colors highlighters. These are really, really nice. I can go ahead and tell you I will not be parting with these. First things first is the Desi and Katie one in Chasing the Sun. I have this one right here in the shade Fuego. And this one right here in the shade Mirame. This is the one I probably use the least, but again, stunning. Will not part with them. Refuse to do so. Okay, so I do have 2 of these Ciate London like highlighting balms. I'm not sure if that's their technical name, but I think so. I have one in the shade Gleam and one in the shade Glow. And I really wanted, I think it was it Gleam? No, it was Glow because of Alyssa Ashley. But I will tell you guys, like, I wasn't prepared for these to be like so like waxy or anything. So that was the shade Glow. And this one right here is the shade Gleam. Like, they just stay really wet on the skin, and so like this is not something you're gonna want to wear if you have your hair down or anything like that. I honestly don't think that I will ever finish these. I didn't realize they were like that, and I don't love the gold one. I feel like the only time I would use these is for pictures if I'm keeping it honest and keeping it real. So we shall see. So I do have these Cover FX glitter drops that I'm literally just going to be partying with. I literally don't think I've ever used them. I do not need glitter in a bottle in any form. And then I do have 2 of the Sol de Janeiro Glow Oils. I will not be partying with these. I like to use these on my body in the summer. Very, very pretty. They do stay tacky. Do keep that in mind. But I do like the color. I do have these Marc Jacobs Dew Drops in the shade Do You. I love these for on the body. Like, I will not be getting rid of this. It's so, so gorgeous. And this does dry down, so it's very comfortable to wear when you've got like clothes on. But I put this all over like my arms, my shoulders, my chest. It's super, super beautiful. And I do have these 2 like liquid drops. So I have the Sephora collection ones in the shade Morning Light and this ColourPop one in the shade Champagne Bubbles. I like these types of products just because they're very easy to work with and the formula is very light. So I like these ones on my face more than this one, but they're pretty on the face, they're pretty on the body, and they do dry down, so it's very, very nice. And then I do have this ColourPop Soul Body Shimmering Body Powder in the shade Warm Gold. This is really pretty, but it's strictly for the body. And even then, I like some of my other body ones better, but this isn't bad to like dust over a liquid to give it a little extra oomph. So I do have this, and it is not a bad product. And then last but not least, I'm not going to bring them down because they actually sit up here on my shelf, but I do have the Patrick Ta body oil right here. This is okay. I got it in like a little mini sample that sits up there, but I have used it on my body. The smell is absolutely phenomenal, but it does stay tacky. So she's a mess, but she is pretty. And this is like straight up glitter. So it depends on what you're looking for. And then this right here is the Givenchy setting powder. I think I'm saying that right. I feel like I sound extra bougie. This is literally up here for decor purposes only, girl. I've had that for I don't even know how long. Casey Holmes put me on that back in the day. And in all honesty, I didn't feel like the powder really worked for me, but it's bougie. And by the time, you know, well past the return date, and so she sits up there for decoration. It's probably crusty on the inside of there. Who knows what's happening, but I do have it. It just sits up there on my thing for decoration because it feels expensive. It was an expensive powder, okay? It was too much money for a powder, period. But anyways, you guys, that is the end of this part of my collection. Holy cow, I wanted it to go by fast, and I'm pretty sure it didn't. Okay, I really didn't realize how much of these products that I had. Yes, I did get rid of a few things. More highlighters than I thought I would get rid of. Go me. I'm proud of me. Anyways, you guys, that is going to be all for today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed watching. If you did, definitely give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do post new videos every Tuesday and Friday, and if you hit that notification bell, you will never miss an upload from me, including, I think I have 2 more collection videos that I will post for you guys, so definitely keep your eyes peeled for that if you are interested. And last but not least, you can also come follow your girl on Instagram at AlyssaNPope, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!